Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. With me today, as always, is my co-host, Troy Brittingham.
You're Jeff Ackerman.
Sure am, and today, Troy, do you know what we're talking about?
The Oscars.
Sure are. Wrong button.
We're talking about how Sydney Sweeney's boobs ended wokeness on Saturday Night Live.
TB&J! Is that a narrative going around?
Yeah, that's a big one right now. That's a big one. People think now wokeness has ended because Sydney Sweeney she had a dress where you could see her boobs out, and people said wokeness is dead because we can now have blonde women with breasts again.
So Halo had a new episode.
And it's not woke anymore because Sydney Sweeney ended wokeness.
Episode 6, it's called Onyx. It's about the planet they're on now. It's called Onyx. We're gonna start off things like we always do. Troy, thumbs up or thumbs down on this episode?
I am thinking.
I lied. It's also not. Wait, is it episode 6? It is episode 6. I really thought I just read the number wrong, and I was like, is that an 8? No, it's 6.
I am going to lean thumbs down on this one, I think.
I may also be leaning thumbs down, and here's why, right? So we were not as harsh as the rest of the internet, but we weren't super lovey-dovey on Halo Season 1.
Sure.
If I recall my words correctly, I think I said it felt like a generic sci-fi show with a Halo skin.
Which is almost certainly what it was.
Yeah. And it feels like Season 2 started out really strong. The first handful of episodes are really, really strong. But ever since the fall of Reach, which, remind you, happened pretty briefly in our timeline here, especially considering the timeline of the books and the games,
sure.
It feels like things are going a little off the rails, and not in a good way.
This did feel like their messiest episode of the season, where it kind of felt like there's a bunch of stuff that's kind of heading towards things, and there's like it doesn't feel like everything is fully kind of like it did. This one, I don't know if you agree with this. This one felt a little bit less organic than the rest of them to me.
A little bit, yeah.
I think there's cool stuff in it. I think that there's pretty much cool stuff in every episode of this season.
Yeah.
But I need a little bit more, and next episode 7, and then 8, and then it's done. So I imagine that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it really needs to wow me in the last 2 for me to kind of give a little bit more of a positive rating on the second half.
I definitely need something to redeem what they've started kind of spiraling towards. So our little gang of Reach survivors end up on Onyx, which is home to Oni's brand new secret headquarters after they evacuated Reach. And John kind of confronts the soldiers that are coming through the forest to intercept them willingly, giving Soren and Leia time to go look for their kid Kessler. He doesn't want them to get captured, so he kind of gives himself up. Because he goes down pretty easy.
Sure.
Let's be honest. He takes out a handful, and then he's like, "Oh, you got me!" And then, like, the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme plays. He puts his hands up and just kind of smiles at the camera. You know what I mean?
He winks, he smiles.
He gives a little wink.
Shine on his teeth.
It's actually not the Curb theme. It's the Seinfeld bass line. Is that all Halo is missing to be a good show? Is a little Seinfeld bass?
Yeah. I also think that they should put Newman in the show.
Oh, absolutely, man. And
maybe
Kramer.
George.
Yeah. We gotta get some more side characters.
What if it was everybody but Jerry?
That's a great show to me. Jerry was my least favorite part of Seinfeld.
Also kind of a dick in real life.
I mean, I don't want to touch that too much. Jerry Seinfeld, if you're listening, call me. I'd love to be on Comedians in Cars getting coffee.
I take it back if you want to guest star on the show.
Yeah, but if not, go fuck yourself, Mr. Seinfeld.
Yeah,
I said it.
He sucks.
Sucks big dicks. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Soren and Leia, I'm going to wrap up their story for the whole episode real quick. We don't see them again until, like, the very end, basically.
They have a scene.
They're walking around the planet trying to find Kessler. I have no idea what their theory is. I believe Halsey says earlier, like, I know where they took your son. And I'm like, well, we all do, because it's Kessler's kid. I think the UNSC is smart enough to figure that out. Or, I'm sorry, it's Soren's kid, Kessler. Like, they kind of know who he is, I feel like. They're definitely going to put him through their new prototype Spartan 3 program, which it looks like that's where Soren and Lyra end up at the end, is right outside a place that, Soren calls it Thermopylae, but it looks like what Soren described as the Spartan training facility with the walls and the watchtowers, and like the way he says, this is Thermopylae, and there's the blood on the ground, and he's like, yep, we're here, okay. Like, oh, okay, cool. So your son might be going through the Spartan program, and I have a very funny feeling we're going to find out Kessler dies during the Spartan 3 augmentations. We might get a scene where he, like, dies afterwards, and his parents cradle his body, and then Soren might go out in a blaze of glory. That's kind of my leading theory for the rest of that arc for this season. I don't see much of those people being long for this world. And then we cut back to John, who's been taken prisoner, and apparently nobody in the UNSC learns a lesson because they have him chained up and every limb individually chained, and they're going around the room attaching them one by one around the floor, which is a bad way to do that. Do it all at once, guys.
Yeah, they're trying to do that scene of Patrick Starr where they chain him to the in the arena.
And they throw peanuts at him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, and then Master Chief catches the peanuts in his mouth.
Yeah, sure. But because you're doing them one by one, like a fucking idiot, obviously Chief, like, pulls the last guy or the second to last guy and fight.
They do seem to... There is a running theme in this show where people forget he's strong.
People seem to forget that he's, like, the strongest human that's ever humaned. Mm-hmm. And they're just like,
which you think they wouldn't because there's signs of him all over the place, everywhere.
Yeah, there really are, right? And in the first season, we saw other Spartans that aren't quite as strong as him, like, pulling giant, a Warthog engine? Mm-hmm. Like, on a pulley system? Just, like, casually lifting that, like, yeah, no shit, they're really strong. Why did you think those cables and those regular soldiers were going to be able to hold him?
Yeah, this episode has...
Put a shock collar on him or something. Like, you got to do something.
This episode seems to have the most amount of... Oh, yeah, I forgot that he's really, really strong. And also, if we don't capture him right now, he'll just get away.
Right. Spoiler alert, he gets away. Like, of course he does.
People really let him get away in this episode.
They really do.
A few times.
And then, so he gets away. He's looking for Parangoski because she is the head of Oni. She is the new admiral, or maybe she was always an admiral. I can't quite remember.
I think she's always an admiral, I think.
I believe you're correct. It looks like she may be filling the role of Admiral Keyes now that he's gone. But I'm not entirely certain with that one. And then, so he's like, I gotta go find Parangoski, let's go. And he's like doing this Sam Fisher sneaky shit through Oni, which kind of works, I guess. You know, he's 7 feet tall and he weighs 1 million pounds of muscle.
We pointed it out. It is a lot of sneaking around by a man who is built like Zangief from Street Fighter.
Yeah, sure is.
He's quite large.
And I get it. You know, it is Oni. They've got other Spartans walking around. So if you just hide your face, maybe it's like, oh, maybe he's that other Spartan. But also, I can tell you a little bit of growing up in a military family. Hi, Dad. I know you listen. Soldiers keep their heads down. You follow orders. You do what you're supposed to do. You're not like, oh, what's over there? Like, no, that shit gets beaten out of you in boot camp. Kind of literally. You're not wandering eyes. You're not looking where you're not supposed to. You're just doing your job, keeping your head down, keeping your mouth shut. That's what a good soldier does. I learned a lot, Dad. Thank you so much, buddy. Buddy, thanks. Just called my dad,
hey,
buddy.
Buddy, old pal.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? Hey, Chief, how you doing? I love you,
Your
Dad.
dad's the Master Chief?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Is that why you?
That's why he grew out the beard. He's trying to be incognito. I love you so much, Dad. I seriously do.
I really want to see Master Chief with just like a real big beard coming out the bottom of his helmet.
I mean, maybe one day. Who knows? But so we got Chief sneaking around, and then Kai is like shown the footage of him escaping, and by Ackerson, and he's like, I didn't want to show you this, but they made me, and it looks like Chief is working with the Covenant. There's no other way he could have survived Reach. And I'm like, are you sure about that, Ackerson? Are you sure about that? He is like the biggest, baddest, strongest Spartan ever made. Even without armor, I feel like he's got some solid chances getting off Reach alive. Not necessarily winning the fight. Obviously, they don't. But you really didn't put.
Wait, what happened?
You didn't hear?
What?
The Reach total loss, gone.
Is everybody okay though?
Oh yeah, everybody got off.
Escaped.
They're all at a farm upstate.
Okay,
They're good.
Can I go to the farm and
You
visit
cannot.
them?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
You cannot ever.
okay.
You're not allowed. You'll be shot on sight if you try.
Oh, okay.
It's a really strict farm.
Can Master Chief sneak me in with his powers?
No. Which I also found super funny as somebody who's played the games. There's not a whole lot of sneaking in those games.
No.
You can try for half a mission if you're going real slow and just smacking grunts in the back, but eventually they kind of force you into open fire. Anyway, doesn't matter. I found this part really, really fucking weird that they tried to sell Kai on Chief being a traitor to humanity. You can say that he hates Oni. I don't think Chief would ever betray humanity.
I was worried about this. I think I give it a little bit of leeway because it does seem like when they had a conversation, I thought that the way this conversation was going to go was they walk in, and it almost goes this way of they walk into a room together, and she's like, you're working with McKee with the Covenant, and then he just kind of doesn't answer correctly,
well,
and then they start fighting.
Does
it does kind of turn into that, but
he says no matter what I say, you won't believe me.
Sure,
because he knows that she is not really letting herself think about it. She's just following orders. So he knows that Ackerson or whoever, because he might not know exactly who told her, but he's like, someone told her, I'm working with the Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I can say to make her change her mind right now.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't feel, and I have a theory towards the end of this episode too.
Okay.
And it's a theory that I don't like.
Those are the best kinds of theories sometimes.
Yeah. But I think that this is the angle the show is going to go, and I don't necessarily like it because it seems like it's kind of avoiding the idea of she believes he's working with McKee because, in my opinion, it's kind of a stupid idea of a plot point.
Of him working with McKee?
Of her believing that he would be working with McKee.
Oh. Well, again,
it's not the worst thing, but
it's the soldier mindset.
Sure.
If you don't want to think about it, you just follow orders because in your mind, command is always right. They know what they're doing. If I just follow orders, I'm doing the right thing. That is essentially what boot camp does to a human being.
Yeah.
And the Spartans have this to the extreme in spades where you take orders, you just do them. You're not supposed to ask questions. You're not supposed to say why. You're not supposed to wonder about the other side or their mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You just take your orders from command and you follow through.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff's dad. We know you listen.
It's not just Jeff's dad.
I know.
But it is an awful lot of military insider information. I don't even know how to say it exactly. A very large chunk of my family, going back for a couple generations now, has been enlisted in the armed forces. I have a little bit of knowledge. I don't want to pretend I know everything about the armed forces.
Mm-hmm. Your great-great-grandfather was a tank. Yeah, I get it.
He was an actual tank.
Yeah, an Abrams tank.
He was an Abrams that just went storming across Europe before coming back home. No, but
thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you so much, Grandpa Sherman. Mwah. Miss you. Rest in power, buddy. Jesus Christ. But no, the whole point of boot camp is to strip down any sort of individuality and personality you have and mold you into a weapon of war. You are supposed to be a soldier. You are all supposed to look the same, dress the same, act the same, and follow orders. That is the whole point of boot camp.
And they don't poop, right?
You do, but it's always the same time, and you only wipe twice.
Gotcha.
But that's the point, right? So they kind of shined a light on it with Kai trying to take Chief in and really just beating the shit out of him, and he doesn't put up a fight because he knows she's a soldier, she's following orders, she's also fully armored. I can't take her right now. I'm also not on my A game right now. So, like, this is just what it is, and I'm going to hope that who she is as a person comes out and starts questioning this, and she kind of puts the soldier aside. And that was his line about where does the Spartan end and where do you begin? Because something that he wants her to remember is you are a person. You are still my friend. You are still Kai. You are not just this weapon of war that Oni, Ackerson, Parangoski told you that you are and what you secretly hope to be. So I did really enjoy that whole big scene, personally. Maybe if you don't give a shit about soldiers or mentality of soldiers or the armed forces in the world, maybe it didn't ring home for you.
Sure.
And that's totally fine. You can absorb and like whatever media you want, all right? I'm not here to tell you
I'm a sponge.
SpongeBob?
Yes.
But your
That's
pants
why-
aren't square.
Not yet.
Not yet?
I'm working on it.
Oh, man. That sounds painful.
It's excruciating.
That
But we
sounds
don't
very
need,
airy.
we don't need to talk about that
You're
right
going to get
now.
a lot of draft up in your cheeks.
Yeah. I also have been thinking about adopting a snail.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
What's the lifespan of a snail, Troy?
Probably not great. I can't imagine super long. It might.
Snail.
It might be longer than I would think. They're slow. Maybe they. I can't imagine they make it 3 inches and then die.
They usually live about 5 years in captivity,
Okay.
but in the wild, it can live as long as 25.
Oh my god.
What are we doing to snails in captivity
That's a good question.
that we like fucking?
Everything else usually lives longer.
It's
except for
1/5
like sharks.
of their life expectancy in
Holy
captivity.
shit.
Jesus.
All right, I will not adopt a snail. I've
Yeah,
decided.
that's like the worst thing you could do for a snail.
Yeah, it's like adopting a shark.
Oh man, that's so tragic too about the sharks.
Yeah.
You can't keep, especially great whites. You just can't keep them in
mhm.
captivity.
Why does it have to be the sickest animal in the ocean?
It's definitely not. I'm sorry. What?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's like a 10th grader's idea of like the coolest thing in the world, you know?
I mean, it's okay, but like, are you serious?
I mean, what's your number one sea animal, big guy?
I mean, I want to say the tiger shark, which has 2 penises. Oh no, I lied. All sharks have 2 penises. All right, so they're all pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, rays have 2 penises.
Yeah, when's the last time you saw a Jaws movie about a ray?
I mean, no, but no. The coolest, sickest animal in the sea, and you want to go great white shark?
I mean, I'm just saying it's sort of it's like the T-Rex, you know?
You're not gonna go clownfish?
No, I'm not going clownfish.
But that
I mean,
whole
they do
Finding
have
Nemo
a movie. They do have a movie.
They have,
but
yeah, come on, man.
he's not really cool in that movie.
He tells jokes. He makes his neighbors laugh.
First
He
off,
goes across the whole ocean looking for his son.
Yeah, no, he's a good dad, but like he's pretty definitively not cool. He's like a lame dad in the beginning.
In the beginning, by the end of it, he's like Indiana Jones, man.
He's not like Indiana Jones.
He's conquering unknown waters.
I don't know. Well, it's a Dory pulled her weight.
Halo.
No. More Nemo discourse.
So, Chief ends up getting his ass kicked by Kai, and Kai just kind of walks away. And she does kick his ass because, like, when she does question, like, she does stop from punching him and ending it. But then he, like, points the camera, and he's like, no, you're a soldier. Follow orders. And she kind of, like, begrudgingly does it, and then she walks away. And then we cut over. We got the Covenant going on. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on that Covenant ship. But it looks like McKee and Cortana have managed to fool the Arbiter into thinking that, like, he and McKee alone are going to find the Halo. And it's, like, their holy mission. Right? Is that kind of where we're at?
Holy mission, Batman. It is kind of... Sorry, I tried not to say it. I tried my best, and it didn't work. I was fighting back every part of me.
In other news, I'm looking for a new co-host. Apply at tbandjpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, people don't do that. But
Go on. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's sort of where we're at.
Yeah, that's...
It doesn't feel like that's... there's a big fight scene on that ship, and I still kind of feel like we're not doing a whole lot on it.
No, there's kind of an uprising. So a lot of the Covenant believe that McKee is kind of outlived her usefulness. She's kind of like, who cares about this human? Let's just kill her and keep going with whatever the prophets and the hierarchs demand of us. And McKee has convinced Arbiter here, which, as we established last episode in this podcast, not the same Arbiter as the Halo games. But
yeah, this is a guy who will definitely be dead soon.
Oh, for sure, he's gonna die. But she's convinced Arbiter, like, I can get us to Halo, trust me. And he's like, okay, because Cortana shows him a picture of Halo.
Oh boy.
What?
Hey Jeff, what are the possibilities? Do you think?
Oh no.
That the final. This is my second theory I won't like about this episode.
Oh no.
Do you think at the end of this,
you're smiling
show,
too much? I don't like this.
Do you think at the end of this season, there's gonna be a moment where he kills this Arbiter, and McKee goes, "Now I'm the Arbiter"?
Oh God. No. Absolutely not. I do not think that at all.
You don't think so?
Arbiter, I believe, is a rank among the elites.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to be an elite in order to be an Arbiter. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I don't know 100%. I'm not super familiar with how the Covenant army works and operates, but I know McKee is an outlier, and she's more of like a person of interest rather than a
think
member
about
of the
this
military.
and the games. John 117 has sex with the Arbiter. We all know this.
We do?
We all know this.
When was that?
You didn't see that cutscene? It's in Halo 2.
It is?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, everybody knows this.
I want off this crazy ride. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's going to be a hard stop, and I think you need some more Jesus in your life, Troy.
I think I need more Halo.
Oh, my God. Anyway,
It's got religious undertones.
Yeah, I hate
and
you.
overtones.
So
and tones in general.
McKee, realizing that she's in danger of being murdered by the priest aboard the ship,
and his little tiny sword.
And his little tiny
little
energy dagger.
For little babies.
His little baby energy sword. Cortana's like, I can help you. I just need access to the transmission array. And she's like, I'm not foolish enough to trust you. And Cortana's like, you don't have a choice, bitch. And I guess she realized it was like, yep, you're right.
They rap battled.
Yeah, they rap battled. Cortana transmits back to Onyx, and she talks to Parangoski about, like, hey, this is what's going on with the Covenant. I have fulfilled my mission. Aren't I a good girl? And Parangoski's like, yup, you sure are.
We're going to blow you up with many bullets. Probably.
Probably. It was a really weird ending to that conversation, because she was like, will I be remembered? And I'm like, wait, what? What's going on? I don't understand. But on the other side of that, Cortana's also talking to Chief. She's manipulating technology around him, and she's like, Chief, you need to get up. Bad shit's about to go down, and I need you to help me stop it. So I need you to get to the artifact and touch it. Because if Chief can touch the artifact and McKee can touch her artifact, their minds can link, and they can see the Halo and get her and the Covenant ship to the Halo so that she doesn't die, and Cortana won't die. And if Chief meets her there, then Cortana can meet up with Chief, I guess. I'm not sure what the end game there is. Actually, wait, no. Cortana says the Covenant are going to get to the Halo. They're going to use it. Right. And while they haven't really established what the Halo does yet in this universe, it sounds like everybody kind of understands that using it is bad, except the Covenant, who believe it is their holy mission to activate the Halos and ascend to their next plane of existence. Like all religions do. And then, so she ends up using the technology in the building to just kind of walk Chief to the artifact while locking doors around him. And
he's Amy Adams. She is Russell Crowe. And they are
what
on
movie is this?
A Zod ship, and he's escaping.
Yeah. That's kind of what it is. Yeah. And
did you see the Zack Snyder Joe Rogan clips recently?
What are you talking about now?
Zack Snyder went
what
on...
tangent is this? Number 4, 5?
I'm in a real bad headspace today. I'm
the one with severe ADHD, Troy.
Yeah, but
you're just the queer one. I'm just kidding. You're my best friend in the world. I love you so much.
That's what I'm reduced down to. I get it. That's why I'm here.
I love you so much. You're one of my best friends in the world.
Right, but you have to remember that the podcast has to end.
You were one of the first people I hugged at my wedding.
We have to, but we have to end the wokeness on the podcast because Sydney Sweeney showed her boobs on SNL.
She showed her boobs on HBO like 5 years ago. Where
yeah,
have
but
y'all
that
been?
didn't end wokeness. This one did.
Oh God.
But whatchamacallit?
You said Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. Of course. I could have forgotten.
How could you forget the Roguester?
Zack Snyder was on Joe Rogan recently. I don't know. And he was talking about how
He doesn't even have anything to promote right now.
No, well, I think we're pretty close to Rebel Moon 2.
Shut the fuck up.
It comes out in April, I think.
Oh my God.
But he did say that one, he said Rebel Moon because everybody who owns a Netflix account, they never watch movies alone, so you're at least counting 2 people for everybody who saw Rebel Moon. And then if you actually look at Rebel Moon and its numbers and the theater ticket sales for Barbie, Rebel Moon probably had more people see it than Barbie. Is what his stance was.
Do you know that meme of like the woman and the man from the B movie, and she says something and he just turns around and makes that face like, what the fuck? You're the woman, I'm the man. I'm looking at you like, what the fuck? What kind of dumb... How many drugs do you have to be on to actually believe that shit?
He also said that if DC doesn't let Batman kill people, he's irrelevant.
I heard that. I saw that. I didn't know what it was from.
That was on Joe Rogan.
Jesus Christ. I
was pretty surprised you didn't know the whole thing because it was so Batman tied. I was expecting.
I only knew that last piece about him being mad that Batman can't kill people.
Yeah, it was the same conversation. It was with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, how dare the one guy who's always been about being above the murderers and killers in the city, how dare we let him kill people?
But what if he was put into the situation where he did? And it was a no-win situation. He had to do it all the time.
That
Which
happened.
is literally his yeah, that's the other thing that's so fucking stupid about the whole thing is it's like it's a thing that's been explored before. Yeah, everybody knows. It's like there's like 90 comics.
Hang on. Spoiler alert for the end of Batman Beyond. But we learned the reason Bruce hangs it up and stops being Batman is because he pulled a gun on a criminal in the suit. And he says, he stops himself and he's like, no, that's it. I did that. I sullied Batman. I can't be Batman anymore. He hangs it up, and then Terry comes along, and we have Batman Beyond.
You have
That's how
Joke.
Batman Beyond starts.
You have some versions of Killing Joke. You have some. He also kind of misunderstands Dark Knight Returns, which isn't even a comic that I necessarily love.
Dark Knight Returns was great for its time. I think it was a good telling of an old Batman, but it's also a little dated.
I think I like it less every time I hear something about Frank Miller.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I did like the Robin though; she was cool.
Mm-hmm. But
why did you make me defend Batman today?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm on your team on this one.
You better be on my team all the time, Troy. What do you mean this one?
Well, first off,
go fuck yourself, bud. Go fuck yourself with a rusty nail. I don't. Where were we? Can we go back to fucking Halo?
Yeah,
please?
that's all I had. I just wanted to talk about Joe Rogan a little bit.
He has a whole speech. God damn it! In the comic adaptation of Batman Beyond, he has a whole speech about how in his heart as Bruce Wayne, he has thought about killing people before. And he says that's fine as long as it doesn't bleed over into Batman, because Batman has to be more. Batman must be a symbol of hope for the people of Gotham. So the second Batman pulled a gun, he knew it was over, he had to hang it up. Until Terry came along, and he realized, oh, I could redo it. I could rebirth hope in Gotham with this kid. God damn it, Zack Snyder's so fucking stupid. How do you not understand the most pivotal point of Batman's whole goddamn personality?
Well, you have to remember he's read 2 comic books in his life, and it was Watchmen and it was Dark Knight Returns, and he didn't really understand either of them.
I get it if you read Dark Knight Returns and you think Batman kills people because he drives a fucking tank. And I think there's a panel in that comic where he has an actual gun and he's just shooting for some reason. I get it if that's your only exposure to Batman, you might think he kills people, or at least people that deserve it. Especially after the guy that I think he beats to death in that mud pit. Regardless, his whole fucking thing is he doesn't kill people, Troy.
I also
because
just,
Batman needs to be bigger than that. He needs to be a symbol of hope for the people of Gotham. Oh my God! Why?
I just saw the episode of Justice League Unlimited recently where Dead Man takes over his body and shoots a guy with a gun and kills him by accident, and Batman comes back too, and he's like, "Oh shit, and Superman's like, "You didn't kill him, Bruce. There was Dead Man. He got inside you," and he's like, "Nope,
Yep.
And he walks away. He's done it before. It happens a lot, actually. It's like a big thing.
Okay. So,
The Dark Knight. Sorry, Two-Face.
John's on his way to touch the artifact. Okay, he's doing that with Cortana. By the time he touches the artifact, we get a big blast of light. Credits. So that's kind of the conclusion of John's arc for this episode. The one that interested me a little bit more was Kai, because after the interaction with John, Kai goes back to Ackerson. And she tells him, John told me that you left him and the rest of my team to die on Reach, and you knew it was going to happen. You abandoned them, you took their armor, and you left them to die. What gives? And Ackerson, being the amazing military genius he is, decides to tell the truth and not lie and not convince her that he's full of shit. You spent the last conversation with her trying to convince her that her friend is a Covenant traitor, and now that she tells you other information from him, you just say, oh, jig is up. I guess you're right. I'm a terrible guy. I'm going to confess now. What? Come on, man. At least have a little bit of foresight to not meet her one-on-one. Have someone there to back you up. Like, come on,
what's
bro.
so scary? She's only like 8 feet tall and super strong. And
exactly, right? What? She's only an absolute killing machine bred to do one thing. Like, what is she gonna do to me, right? Oh my God, there was a lot of just incompetence all around in this episode. It felt like a lot of things that felt super forced for the plot. It felt like people were forgetting simple things or overlooking other things.
I feel like this is kind of the throwaway episode with a few cool take
two. Can I get that read one more time?
Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
You know what? I think our advertisers are gonna want a different take on that. Can you try that read a third time?
Okay, sure.
You need a sip of water, or are you good? Yeah, okay. We're going for the Coca-Cola. All right, bold choice. It's got bubbles in it. All right, take it from the top.
So, I don't even remember what I was saying. I got lost in my own bit. No, but
I love you so much, bud. You're my best friend. Don't tell John.
No, but I was gonna say that fuck, where was I?
I was talking about people doing dumb shit.
Oh, I was gonna say,
there we go.
This feels like it's a little bit of a throwaway episode, with a few cool things scattered in there, so that way they can like get. Basically, this is all the plot forwarding to get to the two cooler episodes after this.
I think you're right, and I think part of that for sure, like a really cool thing I did love about this episode, it's not all doom and gloom from me. I loved that Perez enlisted in the Spartan 3 trainee program.
She has probably the best stuff in this episode.
She's amazing in this episode. She's really turned over a leaf. It seems like she's really inspired with a new internal fire after watching Keyes sacrifice himself to make sure the ship gets away.
She's doing the Kobayashi Maru. That's what this episode is.
Yeah. I love this absolute turn. I really hope it doesn't culminate with her leading a suicide mission and her just getting absolutely obliterated. But I feel like there's not a whole lot of other ways you could write a closing to her story and it actually pay off.
Yeah.
But still, I'm very curious to see where it goes because I think that they're doing a pretty good job with the entire character of Perez. Whenever I see her on screen, I don't hate her. I really enjoy what she has to say. I enjoy the whole the back and forth she has with the Chief all the time. I really like her in this show so far. No complaints on Perez. The other thing that I did actually enjoy about this episode was the peer into it. Like, obviously, it's not a new trope. It's not even necessarily something people don't know, but command in military is never a good person. A good example of this, if you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're waiting for, but A Few Good Men is a really good movie to show you that the people in charge make bad decisions. They know they're bad, but it's the best they can do with the information they have and the resources they're given. And that is kind of the damned if you do, damned if you don't choice that so many in military command are faced with every single day. I don't want to defend nor crucify anyone in higher up command in real life, for sure, but also in this show necessarily. I can see why they've done everything they've done. Like Chief being left to die on Reach. After his separation from Cortana and his relationship with McKee at the end of Season 1, it was very clear he's not going to be a reliable soldier that takes orders. At that point, especially being Chief, 7 feet tall, 1 million pounds of muscle, he is a liability. You do need to kind of find a way to get rid of him. Whether that be, a medal and a retirement, or, leave him behind on a planet that's doomed. You could go either way, I guess. But that kind of is
Or you could beat him up in a room and then be like, okay, well, he's taken care of, and then you leave the room and nobody comes in to pick him up.
Nobody comes in for quite a while, long enough for him to just get up and walk out.
Yeah.
Which, there was a camera in there. Somebody could have been watching him get up and walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I guess with Cortana in there, she may have, manipulated the feed to, show him still on the ground.
No, they were watching the fight. Ackerson did see
Yeah,
the
but I'm
fight.
saying after the fight, when Cortana
Sure.
shows up and she's like, Chief, you gotta get up, and then she leads him out. She opens the door and shit. She could have been manipulating the camera to just show he's still on the ground.
Sure.
But, we were never given any of that. I don't even know if that's what happened.
Once again, this does just seem like another situation where it was just like they
this
kind
was
of
convenient
let
for the
him
plot.
let him get away again.
Yeah, and when Ackerson does go back to talk to Kai, he says he sent the Black Ops to finish what she couldn't, and it's like, oh, so they're gonna go kill Chief, right? He's still on the ground, right? Nah, he left an hour ago, bro. He's over in the fucking other room with the artifact now. I'm surprised you haven't caught on to that yet. But it is what it is. I do think that this episode is the weakest of the 6 so far.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's got a lot in it, but it seems like it's all so loosely tied together, it's almost not.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they're going with any of it. Oh, I forgot about Halsey.
Mm-hmm.
While they're on Onyx, Halsey and the girl,
Kwan-Ha.
yeah, they end up in the tunnels where they found the original artifact.
Kwan-Ha still chasing around old ghost lady from
Yep.
episode 1.
The last episode. Oh, yeah, the lady was in episode 1, but she
wasn't a ghost yet.
Yeah, she was a ghost in last episode.
Yeah.
I think they're on the same planet where they found the first artifact.
I think so.
In the beginning of season 1. And she's in the tunnels with Quan, and she's like, oh, I haven't been here in 20 years, and hopefully when I get to the end, it'll explain everything. And they get to the end, and there's Miranda Keyes, daughter of Halsey and Admiral Keyes, going over Halsey's research on this Stargate SG-1 looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised Anthony Dean Anderson wasn't just around the corner.
Oh, he is. He's in the next episode.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love him. Anthony Dean Anderson, also MacGyver.
Oh.
And he's the guy in Stargate.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I knew that. I don't know why I'm surprised.
Yeah. But, I was really like, what are they doing with the Stargate? What is this bullshit? That's not in a game that I know of. They're making up more weird sci-fi stuff for the Halo show. It is what it is. It sounds like Miranda's got it working, but they don't really come to a conclusion with that arc just yet. I assume we'll get it in the next episode or the last episode. Who fucking knows?
I do kind of like, and it's going to depend on what the next.
Oh, I just had a stupid theory.
It's going to depend what the next conversation sounds like. But I do like that. Does I guess Miranda probably knows her dad's dead, right?
Probably not.
Because this is what I'm thinking is
I would assume she doesn't actually.
I was assuming, I assumed starting off that she doesn't, and then I kind of went back on it, and I'm going back to she doesn't.
They didn't say much, and it was all very cold, but she's always been cold towards Halsey anyway.
And she's been underground the whole time, so nobody probably briefed her. But
yeah, she's been on a top secret mission.
Yeah.
So,
but it depends on how the next conversation goes. But I do like the fact that she walks up, and instead of just being like, "Hey, did you hear about your dad?" she immediately is just like, "Oh, my fucking research. What the fuck? What's going on with all this?"
Well,
I'm Halsey, and I care way more about all this stuff than this.
Halsey's always cared way more about the science than any of her family.
Yeah.
And that's always been her thing. So I just had a really dumb theory.
Okay.
So she said that she last saw this thing 20 years ago when she was in those tunnels. And if memory serves, I think it's also where Chief was found as a child.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that really lends more credence to my theory that the portal, the Stargate they're fixing, is actually a teleportation device to Halo. And that's how John...
would make it convenient.
It really would, wouldn't it? And that's how John's going to get his ass to Halo, and McKee is going to fly there. And then they're going to meet up at Halo. I definitely think that's what's going to happen. And I think that one of the reasons it cut after the bright light, after he touched the artifact, is because him touching the artifact and McKee on the other end may have activated it.
So do you want to hear my dumb theory about that?
Go for it.
The theory I don't
All
like?
of our theories are dumb at this point.
I think that during this whole thing, they're both going to see the Halo stuff. They're going to activate Halo. They're going to do all the things that lead to the...
They're going to activate Halo.
Well, not activate it, but like get all the visions that they got from the last season, and then figure out how to get there and stuff.
That different thing you said.
Not activate. No, not activate.
Okay.
And I think that they're gonna do a thing where like they kind of project in front of each other. You can see them both at the same time. Kai's gonna come down because she's marching that way at the end of this episode. And she's going to look over and be like, "Oh, he's touching the thing. McKee's also sort of projecting here. I see them both. Now I think that they're working together." And then we're going to get that whole...
There's so many dumb things. But one thing I do have hope for is that Kai does say that she does trust Chief, and she always has, even when she was ordered to take him in. So, like, I'm hoping she comes around. And I'm hoping that when she goes marching back to Chief, it's going to be like a scene from the beginning of Gears 1 when Dom breaks Marcus out of jail and just chucks him his armor, and he's like, "Here you go." And then we get suited up Chief heading over to Halo.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be the thing I said.
I said what I wanted to happen.
Yeah. I think that she'll come around eventually, but we'll get a bunch of episodes in a row of them not trusting each other into the next season, probably.
Could be. I think that's a weird thing to like adapt this late into season 2 and take it into season 3. Provided, I don't know if season 3 has been greenlit. There might not be a season 3. I know 2 got greenlit the same time as 3. I'm sorry, 2 got greenlit the same time as season 1. Excuse me. But I don't know if there is a season 3 confirmed. Do you have anything information on that?
I do not know off the top of my head.
I'm sorry. As of February 2024, Halo has not yet been greenlit for Season 3. Okay.
I would like it if there was a Season 3. I think that I'm enjoying this season, and more than enough to think that a Season 3 would...
Considering the amount of garbage on television right now, I'm certainly in for another season of Halo if it were to renew. The production value is there. The Covenant for being completely CGI'd, as far as I know, it might be people under there with CGI on top, kind of like Colossus or something. But I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it, but it doesn't look terrible. It looks a little rough sometimes, but it's also a TV show. I'm not expecting like big screen, $200 million budget, good CGI.
Yeah, there's a real weird looking scene of Quan Ha falling down a hole in this episode.
Yeah, it can be a little rough, but for the most part, it's good. And I've invested enough into these characters to see. I want to see where their stories end. I would like to see it get another season. I don't know if it hasn't been greenlit yet, and we're 6 episodes into an 8-episode season. I don't know. It doesn't seem to bode well, but maybe that could just be me.
I think, and this would be sad, and this is always sad when this happens, but I think it's better than just ending season 2 on a cliffhanger and then not saying anything.
That too. I have a feeling
I-
season 2 is definitely ending on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I think that at the very least they should be like, okay, you got one more, wrap it up, like a Netflix situation. I don't want that to happen.
No,
because I want people to make anything that they want to make. But it would be much worse if they just went, okay, you're done, and season 2 ends on a cliffhanger and it's over.
The other part of that equation, though, is that Halo is one of the biggest flagship products that Paramount Plus has.
Oh yeah, they invested everything. In it.
To direct people to their streaming service. So, I mean, even if it's not quite as high as a product as you wanted it to be, season 2 is still a lot better received than season 1 was.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you'd be dumb to not greenlight a season 3 at the very least.
Yeah, it's a similar situation to like Amazon's not going to shut down Lord of the Rings no matter what.
Yeah, or The Boys.
Yeah.
But The Boys, then again,
Well,
is
The Boys doesn't
highly
have
reviewed.
any problems. Yeah.
Yeah. Season 3 was reviewed a little lower than
Even though
the other
I
two. But
like Lord of the Rings.
I also enjoyed The Rings of Power. It was fine. Even if they are kind of redoing and retconning certain things. But it's just like Halo. They're telling their own story. It's different.
I liked it. Come get me, Internet. Don't
Well,
come get
you
me.
also
Actually, leave me
liked
alone.
Argyle, so
I do like Argyle. That's true.
So your opinion is moot.
I also loved Madam Web. Everybody go buy your tickets to Madam Web. It's not in theaters anymore. Just kidding.
Wait, it's really not in theaters anymore?
I don't think so. I mean, it might be, but I don't.
I have a feeling it's definitely still in theaters. There's no way it's not in theater. Yeah.
It came out.
Yeah, it's still in
okay,
theaters.
so anyway.
There's only one showing per. Oh wait, no, I'm on today, and today's almost over. Okay, so there's like 2 showings per
Okay.
mall per day.
Okay, so maybe it has a chance to do a comeback, right?
2 per day tomorrow. Thursday
many
there's 1. Friday there's 1. Saturday we got 2. Sunday 2. Monday there's only 2. Monday, March 18th. There's only 2 theaters near me showing it.
How many people do you think are sitting in these seats? I mean, if you check now, it'll be 0. But
that's a good question, but I don't think that really matters.
Mhm.
Because Madam Web box office. Have you seen their fucking box office?
it made $60 billion, right?
Opening weekend it made $15.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so far as of Monday, March 11th, it's made about $43 million
On a budget of.
on a budget of 20.
Okay, so it technically made money.
I'm sorry. That's domestic. International, we're at $54 million. Worldwide, we're at $97 million.
So what you're saying, Madam Web, big hit. Everybody loves it.
I'm not necessarily saying that, but I am saying like it's not a financial flop. I don't think. I mean, I don't know.
Which
their
is
numbers.
weird because Sony is sending assassins to Dakota Johnson's house. That's weird that they
Oh.
keep doing that.
They might. Oh, I'm sorry. Budget of $80 million, but it's still made $97 million. So it's turned a profit.
Why did she single-handedly make that movie bad, according to Sony?
You know, it's hard to say, man. It's the same reason. Like, why did oh god, I had it on the tip of my tongue and I completely lost it.
Jared Leto, Morbius.
Yeah, but also I can blame him for Morbius.
Yeah, actually, I do blame him for Morbius.
Yeah, I can blame him all I want for Morbius. Did you see he's gonna be in the new fucking Tron movie?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? Who's
In
fucking?
fact, I think he might be in the other one. I think.
No.
He's not in the other one?
No.
Okay. I may be confusing with somebody else. But they're not bringing like anybody else back, but they are putting him in.
He is going to be the star of Tron Ares, which comes out in 2025.
He's gonna be the star? Like the main, like he's not just gonna be like a guy in like.
The movie is called Tron Ares, and he is cast as Ares. You know who else is going to be in that movie?
Not Jeff Bridges.
Cameron Monaghan, a.k.a. Cal Kestis from Star
I
Wars.
do like him.
Yeah.
Can he be the main guy? He would be
Also,
a good main
Evan
guy.
Peters from Marvel.
He'd be a good main guy. Both of those guys would be good main guys for this.
Instead, we're going to get Jared Leto.
But what if we made it the other two guys?
Well, we're not,
Where's
Tron-
Jeff Bridges at?
He's not here, man.
Huh.
He's at that farm upstate with all
Oh
the other actors.
no, Jeff,
With all the other people from Reach.
Mr. Bridges, why?
All right, Troy, does that end this weird tangent-filled episode?
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, they will have to make season 3 of Halo not woke because of Sydney Sweeney's boobs in Saturday Night Live.
I'm the straight man on the podcast. I find Sydney Sweeney very attractive.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand why you're more obsessed with her boobs than I am.
Well, because they ended wokeness. It's not a matter of attractiveness. It's just a matter of wokeness is over now.
Yeah.
Because of Sydney Sweeney's boobs on Saturday Night Live. But it was a whole tweet and everything. It went very, very viral. People are now saying that wokeness is now over because Sydney Sweeney's breasts. And all the liberals are mad because boobs and the blonde girl.
I don't...
You know how liberals and leftists hate white women with big boobs?
I don't think so.
Huh, that's odd. That's what I've been seeing all over the internet.
I guess so. Okay. Anyway, that does it for this episode of the TB&J podcast. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, all that bullshit. We'll see you next time with more Halo and maybe more things. Who knows?
Maybe we'll never come back. Maybe this is it. Maybe we'll never finish Halo. We'll never do Dune 2. We won't do, if they ever stop canceling Star Wars movies. What else is this year?
Oh my God, you're right about Sydney Sweeney. I didn't want... Oh my God. I feel like I just got dumber.
Wokeness is dead.